Yo, what's up? It's your boy 1C Slim, aka Chris Knox, aka Mr. Hashtag Body Bag. This right here is Still Maintain Sports, and y'all know what it is. I'm sorry I missed out on the highlights and things of that nature in the last game, so I didn't post my 2 cents on that time. So I'm just go ahead and do that real quick, and then I'm gonna give y'all my thoughts on who's gonna win this final game in the series between the Minnesota Lynx and also the Connecticut Sun. But while I do that, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate everyone who comes here for the content. I'm hoping that more people start talking about the WNBA because sometimes I feel like the main channels are not talking about the WNBA enough without trying to bring in forces like Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, mainly those two women. It just seems like there's still a large feed of conversation around those two outside of just the NBA, the WNBA playoffs right now. And I think that's where all the attention should be at right now. Like everything that's going on with Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, let's let the playoffs play out and then bring them back into the conversation. You know what I'm saying? DeWanna Bonner is balling. Nafisa Collier is balling. Asia Wilson was balling. Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, they're balling. Dejanay Carrington, Marina Mabry, they're doing fantastic. Alyssa Thomas, you know what I'm saying? McBride, Courtney Williams is having a good playoff series. Like, we have to start giving these ladies more support and more conversation. So for those who, you know what I'm saying, have the platform, definitely make your voices be heard. I'm trying, you know what I'm saying? Continuing to support the WNBA as they continue to grow as a force. And just getting the attention that's needed. There's many things that we need to talk about as far as what else is needed for the WNBA for them to continue to progress. But we'll say that for another video. My fault, y'all. So first, we're gonna talk about the New York Liberty versus the Las Vegas Aces. I felt like if the Las Vegas Aces would have won this game, they would have won the series. That's how I felt. I felt like that would have given them enough momentum to go into the next game even more confident and even more ready to compete and try and get a W. But in this game, the last game, you know who didn't show up? You want to know who didn't show up? Sabrina. Sabrina did not show up. Sabrina the Teenage Witch didn't show up. But Sabrina Ionescu was not there. She was absent. I think she scored her 4 or 5 points in the third quarter, and now that alone, that was it. So that was the biggest factor in that game. And I told you guys before, Brianna Stewart and Ionescu was going to be the key to that game. Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum was going to be the key for the Aces. When both of them show up, the supporting cast is what's going to matter. Who has the better supporting cast when both are doing their thing? Now, Sabrina is known to score more than Kelsey is. Let's put it out there. She is. She's a three-point machine. And in this game, she showed up and she showed out. All right, early in the game, I think she hit like 3 or 4 3-pointers in the very first quarter. Like, she showed up and she showed out. Kelsey Plum showed up. Chelsea Gray, her wonderful, one of the best passers in the NBA. Let's put it out there. She is definitely one of the best passers in the WNBA. But when her and Jackie Young combined for less than 15 points, they barely scored double digits together. That's where the problem persists at. Like, with those two not showing up on the scoring board much, that's where the issue was. Look. Jackie Young scored 4. Chelsea Gray scored 7. But Gray had 6 assists. Salute to Hayes. Hayes did a great job coming off of the bench. She dropped 11 coming off of the bench. She scored the same total of both of them combined. You know what I'm saying? Kelsey Plum dropped 17. Asia Wilson dropped 19. The stats don't show. The stats will show way more. You know what I mean? 10 rebounds, 1 assist. 19 points. I think she had like 4 or 5 blocks. If she had more, y'all let me know. But I believe she had like 4 or 5 blocks, a couple steals. She was doing everything she could to try and help her team win. It just wasn't enough. Brianna Stewart on her squad, she had a great game, dropping 19 points, 14 rebounds, and 5 assists. She is a fantastic passer as well. We've got to give it up to her too. Jonquel Jones, she showed up again. Another big part of their supporting cast. She dropped 14 points, scored more than Jackie Young and Chelsea Gray both put together. Phoebus dropped 11. Scored about the same amount of both of them. You know what I'm saying? Sabrina Ionescu dropped 22 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. She was out there balling. Vandersloot, she put in 8 points. Their supporting cast did more than the Aces supporting cast did. And that was the big difference in this game. Defense on both sides was great. I believe Brianna Stewart had like 4 blocks, if I'm not mistaken. So both teams defensively did a great job. But in the fourth quarter, I feel like they ran out of gas. The Aces ran out of gas. Sabrina, Brianna, they both just, they did their numbers. And now that finished off that series. So the New York Liberty is going to the finals. And they're going to be waiting for the conclusion to these two teams, which is the Connecticut Sun going up against the Minnesota Lynx. Now, these two had a fantastic game. And I've been saying this all series that outside of the first 1 or 2 games, is nothing that I would change on either side defensively. They both have been playing great defense. I think where the issue have come into play at this game, it was a lot of dependency on Nafisa Collier. She ended up tonight, I think, with 29 points, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check. Give me a second. I got some stats. Give me a second now. Calm down. Yeah, 29 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists. She did her numbers, but not too many other people showed up. Heidemann showed up, 16 points. Courtney Williams only dropped 11 points. I think the biggest difference in this game is the fact that they put Dejanay Carrington on Courtney Williams, and Carrington did a fantastic job of taking her out of her rhythm. She didn't really get back into a rhythm until like the second half. That's where Heidemann came in, and Heidemann, I think, played great, and that might be the person they may have to go to. That may be the difference maker in this last game is Heidemann and Courtney Williams. Which one of those two you're going to put in there to truly try and take over and win this game? So I think that's where it's going to come into play at. Smith dropped 9. Carleton she didn't do that well. I think she was like one of 8. I mean, two of 8 or 2 of 10 from 3-point. We gotta do better than that. McBride, she only dropped 5 points, and she also have to do better than that. She got to score at least in double digits for this team to win, and not just depend on Collier. I think if Collier is able to get double digits in assists, maybe right at the 20-point mark, and get her squad the points, I think that's going to get them the W. It was too much dependency on Collier, and I think she just kind of like burnt out. And at the end of that, I say that to say this. The Connecticut Suns, Alyssa Thomas, and DeWanna Bonner, they played fantastic. Especially in the second half, mainly in the fourth quarter. It was like a DeWanna and Thomas show. Like, they're together, and it shows. It shows they have chemistry, not just off the court, but on the court. So DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas really took over that game and got them the W. Alyssa Thomas, 18 points. DeWanna Bonner, 18 points. I told you guys last time, Alyssa Thomas is always flirting with a triple-double. 8 rebounds, 11 assists, 18 points. Carrington dropped 15 points. Harris dropped 20. Mabry dropped 10. They were going insane. Yo, at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players in double digits. 5 players in double digits. The Lynx only had, they had 3 players in double digits. Barely. You know what I mean? So, I think Carrington's defense on Courtney Williams really changed the game to start. It allowed them to keep the game close and not take over. All right? So, I'm sorry, y'all. So, this game for the final with the Connecticut Sun and also the Minnesota Lynx, I still feel that the Minnesota Lynx is going to take this game. All right, I believe they're going to be at home in Minnesota this game. So I feel like that's going to give them the advantage over them. But I think they're going to look at this and they're going to tell themselves, the coach is going to say, hey, guys, we got to give Collier a break. We cannot beat this team just playing one-on-one with Collier. Collier dropping 30, which I thought if she kept dropping 30 that they was going to have a big problem. But they're allowing the rest of the team to try and beat them. They're like, we're going to let Collier get her points, but the rest of the team is going to have to show up. And I think this is where it's going to be a big difference at. If the rest of your team is showing up, then that means now that gives Collier more help because they see Collier isn't going to just take the shot. We don't have to double Collier. Collier is going to kick the ball out. And now that they're hitting shots, once Once Collier starts kicking the ball out and the team start hitting shots, now they're going to tell themselves, we have to stay one-on-one on Collier because now the rest of the team is hitting. Now Collier gets her time to move and just do her work without having to worry about too much. I think in order for the Connecticut Sun to win this game, I think, again, Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner's going to have a monster game. Mabry may have to drop more than 10 points. It may not be enough this time around. They have to find a way to to get past Carrington. Carrington is a pest. She got the seatbelt on. How'd she do it? She got the seatbelt on him right now. So y'all got to figure out a way to get around Carrington and get your points. And I think if Courtney Williams is going to be starting, then it's going to start with her. Either setting the proper screens for her to get around it, and don't rush the shot. You know what I mean? I think these are some of the keys to the game that I think is going to make both teams put them in a position to win, either one. But again, I do think that the Minnesota Lynx is going to win this game. Salute to the homie Sosa. I think the homie Sosa on Twitter, I'll give you a shout out. Hopefully you don't mind. He's guessing Connecticut Sun versus the New York Liberty. He stated this from the jump. And it's looking like it could be true. So tonight is going to show for sure if what he stated is the truth or not. But I think it's going to be Minnesota Lynx and the New York Liberty. We're going to see what happens, all right? If I'm wrong, I'm going to come back on this camera and I'm going to state it, all right? But if y'all like this, y'all tell me who y'all think is going to win in the comments. I'm not putting any highlights in this one because I want to drop it before the game. All right, so hopefully you guys can watch it and let me know what y'all think. Who do y'all think is going to win this game? And who do you think is going to win the title period? Who's going to be the WNBA champion at the end of these playoffs? Y'all let me know in the comments below. Again, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if y'all like this WNBA content. Y'all want me to bring more? Y'all want to talk more about sports and things of that nature? Subscribe to the channel. I will definitely make the time to do so, all right? But you already know what it is. Your boy 1C Slim, aka Chris Knox, aka Mr. Hashtag Body Bag. This right here is Still Maintain Sports, where we hold our own. Salute.